Tramp stamps are back in fashion, and your favorite goth girlfriend from Instagram is more than likely getting it tattooed on her lower back right now. So over the next few months, we're gonna build a ramp with some serious sex appeal. Introducing, wait for it, the Tramp Stamp Ramp. Let's get stuck into it. In my last video, I turned a rusty old shipping container into this mountain board workshop and podcast studio. Now we're gonna build the tramp stamp ramp straight off the roof of the shipping container. Before we dive in, let's talk about what this project really represents. It's much more than a bunch of plywood, wood glue, and screws. It's about progress and growth as a rider. Now, all the materials we're going to use today are recycled, so each piece we add is a step closer in our mountain board journey. Now, not only is this place going to be completely transformed, it's going to give us the opportunity to acquire new skills and grow as ramp builders and riders. And I tell you what, this tramp stamp ramp is hard to say, but it's going to look even more ridiculous. I'd love to know if you guys have ever done something weird just like this. But first, we're going to pull down some pallet racking that Craig managed to score for free from a factory. This is going to be a game changer for our build. And another random ass thing that I've thrown on the top of my van.
What the hell? I'm not that tall.
Okay, you ready?
No, no.
3, 2, go. Go, Craig.
Oh, who locks its door?
But the reason why we got the pallet racking is to create a void that we can walk through and still get into the shipping container. It creates a little bridge.
Stay down, you little fruit.
Looks sketchy or what? Just got this. The best part is everything was either really cheap or really free, and it was all off Facebook Marketplace. Now, if I can do it, you guys can definitely do it. This ramp isn't just a project, it's proof that you don't need to spend a fortune to create something truly badass. Or badass if you're American. Now there's only one thing left to do, and it's to put in the first screw. Now you know what I'm like, I'm not going to build some basic ass ramp. So what we're going to do, we're going to fire things up and put some flames on the side. That's lit. I made great progress on the roll-in, but with the Mountainboard show coming up, I had to squeeze in a quick practice session. The whole reason why we're building this tramp stamp is it takes about an hour and a half to set up the giant Australian Mountainboarders demo ramp. So we wanted to build just a smaller, funner ramp that we can session after work. You probably don't know, but it gets pretty wet here in Melbourne during the winter, so building a solid floor was a priority for me. We wanted to ride year round. It also makes the speed more consistent, so every time you ride it, it feels the same. Next up was moving on to the kicker. Now I actually copied the same transition as the ramp we ride at the shed, so we can ride the shed resi ramp and then do the tricks on this ramp. Now what you just watched is me sandwiching two 12mm pieces of ply together because I'm about to do some fancy designs on the sides. Now I know you guys are probably seeing those other ramps in the background, and this is actually kind of a crazy story. So I found all these ramps on Facebook Marketplace, of course, and this BMXer were giving away essentially a skate park for free.
Oh, H&S doesn't exist here.
So I organised a truck to pick up the ramps and organised the boys to meet me down there, and moments before this shot, the man who was giving away the ramps slipped over on a car jack and severely dislocated his shoulder, complete out of place, screaming in pain. And I full had to do like first aid on this guy. I had to like organize an ambulance and guide the ambulance in as we're moving all these ramps around. It was horrible. But we were kind of like, so do you still want us to take the ramps? So we kind of just like loaded up the ramps by ourselves and got him on Buddy's truck and took him to the block.
3, 2, 1, drop. Up.
Anyway, back to the kicker. So as you can see, I cut out the sides with some fancy little shapes. And now it's starting to look more and more like a tramp stamp ramp. I tell you what, there's nothing more satisfying than watching a time lapse of the ribs going on a ramp. But now it's time to spit on that thing. I mean, ply that thing. If you ever need to apply a ramp with a tight transition, I recommend pouring boiling water over it. This softens the glue in the plywood, making it easier to bend. Trust me, it's a game changer for working with those tight curves.
We got Craig outside of the factory of doom. He's in the real life. You missed it.
No, I didn't.
You missed it.
No, I didn't. That got it.
Once everything was plied, it was time for the paint.
1, 2, 3.
Now this is the part where this ramp truly becomes a tramp stamp ramp.
Hey. Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just fly on it. Stand on that hill, you gon' die on it. Boom, boom. Baby, I'm not one of them, you should try.
After all that painting, I thought, Dylan, it's not enough. Keep painting. Why the f did I think that? I don't know. I decided to go the extra mile and add this BGC piece for the crew. If you want to see more of what we're up to at the BGC, follow us on Instagram at the BGC, where we share a lot of the behind the scenes content from the property in between these YouTube videos.
Yeah. Oh shit, they don't let me shoot a whole clip. Firepower in this coalition, we just turned the field into a demolition. It was desolate, but
If you've been to primary school in Australia, you know about show and tell, and this is my show and tell today. Ooh. When we started this project, we started with a pile of materials. Pretty average materials that most people would have thrown away. But that's kind of how mountainboarding goes, right? You kind of start with a board, maybe you got a bad hill, or maybe you just got a dream to ride. At first, it's rough, it's awkward, and there's a lot of trial and error. But over time, you start to see the potential in those pieces. Piece by piece, we turn the scrap into something that not only works, but pushes us forward. Every plank of wood, every bit of metal now has a purpose. The same goes for your journey on the board. Every fall, every sketchy landing, and every trick you barely pulled off, it's all building something bigger. It's not always going to be perfect, but it's always going to get better. This ramp might look a little bit rough around the edges, but it's solid where it counts. And every time you drop in, it's a reminder that nothing in your journey is wasted. All the struggles, all the bloody scraped knees, they're the foundation that's going to launch you to the next level. So when you see this ramp, don't just see the wood and the paint, see the progression. See how far you've come as a rider and know that every session and every trick you work on, it's all building towards something awesome. Something that's uniquely yours. If this resonates with you, would you go and chuck this video a like, mate? Alright, the ramp's finally done, and now we're gonna give it a go. Okay, final thing. Here it is. Ready for it? Ooh, haven't seen one of these in a while, have ya? Ooh. I've been working on this ramp since February and now it's August. But in that time, I've also been riding, updating my camper van, done 2 mountain board shows with Australian Mountainboarders, and taken a month-long trip to America. I've also built a bunch of other ramps, which you'll see in the next episodes, but for now, I'm slowly turning this place into my very own personal mountain board training facility. I've got big plans for this property. Next week, you'll get to see the next ramp I'm calling the Lamp Ramp. If you want to see that video and feel enlightened, pun intended, I recommend subscribing. Now, get off the couch and I'll see you guys next time on the hill.